There are different myths about different phenomena. Wouldn't you like to believe some are true? This story follows two kids, the girl whose wishes command the weather, and the runaway boy, how they meet, where she got her power, and what they will do as they face the coming hurdles of the story. Watch the full video to know. Presenting the movie, Weathering with You. The story starts with a girl named Hina, gripping her mother's hand, who is very sick. In the background, a boy narrates about a girl who can control the weather, how one day changed everyone's lives, and about a secret that only he and Hina know. As Hina gazes out the window, she sees a heavenly light shining on a small area while it pours heavily. Mesmerized, she goes to investigate to find a shrine atop a building. There, she joins her hands together and starts praying for her mother, and as she passes through the shrine, a strange phenomenon occurs. The rain freezes in its place, and she is flown into the sky, where watery creatures surround her. She falls through the sky as it clears up, gaining the ability to control the weather. The scene then cuts to Hodaka Morishima, a 16-year-old boy with a battered face. He is a runaway, heading out on a ferry for a new beginning in the capital of Japan, Tokyo. On the ferry, the weather suddenly changes, but instead of running inside like the others, he stays to enjoy the storm. That's when a huge mass of water falls onto the ferry, tilting it and almost killing him if he is not saved by a new character named Keisuke Suga. He offers him his card as their journey ends in Tokyo. It didn't turn out as he had planned in Tokyo. He stays at a hotel and searches for jobs, but is rejected at each one as he is not of legal age. He is forced onto the streets, with him left on his last pennies. One day he is sitting next to a trash can, protecting himself from the downpour. That's when a pimp with some girls arrives and punches Hodaka, turning over the trash can. As he is picking up the trash, he finds a gun. He quickly hides it in his bag and runs away. In the next scene, Hodaka is found in McDonald's, where he has a meal and falls asleep as he has nothing else to do. That's when Hina arrives and gives him a burger as she feels sorry for him. She is an employee there. After having nothing left in his pocket, he decides to hit his final shot and goes to Keisuke Suga. There, he finds a beautiful girl with whom he talks for a while, and that's when Keisuke arrives. He tells him that he, along with the girl named Natsumi, writes a magazine about oddities and supernatural things. He then proceeds to hire Hodaka. He tells him about a girl that brings sunshine where she goes and is known as the Sunshine Girl. He wants him to investigate this myth and collect information to write about it. One day, while walking the streets of Tokyo, Hodaka stumbles upon Hina, who is with a pimp from earlier. He is taking Hina into the club and telling her she'll make some bucks there. Hodaka, feeling worried, jumps in and grabs Hina's hand to run, but it isn't long before he is caught. The pimp starts beating him up. In a desperate attempt to save himself, Hodaka pulls out that gun he had found earlier and shot a rogue bullet. The pimps became startled and let them leave. Hina then takes him to her secret place. When they reach there, Hina is angry with him. She tells him that he didn't need to interfere and that she had lost her job in McDonald's. That's why she was with the pimps. She then tells him that she had a deal with the pimps that Hodaka ruined, but she was also glad that Hodaka stopped her from going with them. They talk a little, and then she tells him that she wants to show him something. Hina takes him to the rooftop, where she puts her hands together, and the sky starts clearing up, revealing that she is the Sunshine Girl, leaving Hodaka in complete awe. The next day, we see Tokyo being flooded with never-stopping rain. Some boys follow a strange mass into an alley, a water mass that breaks onto them and drenches them. Next, Hodaka goes to Hina's place to interview her and write about her to earn a salary. There, they have a meal, and things take a turn, and they end up forming a business plan of using Hina's powers, as they both need money. They create a website through which they will operate, clearing weather for anyone who requests. That's when Hina's younger brother, Nagisa Amano, arrives and joins them. Next day, a local merchant requests them for their first job. They arrive at the area where the merchant requested the rain stop. There, Hina gets to her job. She clamps her hands together and starts praying. At first, nothing happens. Everyone stares at Hina, and then suddenly, the sky starts clearing up, leaving the merchant in disbelief. The merchant couldn't believe his eyes, but a miracle had happened in front of his eyes. He pays them extra money and bids them a farewell. After this incident, the requests increase. They go on jobs daily. Hina is now famous as the Sunshine Girl. One day, even the city officials ask Hina to clear the weather to celebrate an occasion. After doing the job, Hina says she is tired and will quit after one more job. Meanwhile, Keisuke and Natsumi investigate the Sunshine Girl on their own. They are going to visit an old man who claims to know all about the Sunshine Girl. At the old man's place, the old man shows them a ceiling covered with paintings of sea creatures and tells them that the sky is a bigger mystery than the sea. According to him, a weather maiden will come to Earth and be able to communicate with the weather, and she will be able to stop the never-ending rain, but for that, she will be sacrificed. The next day, Hina, Nagisa, and Hodaka go for their last job. There they find Keisuke with her daughter. Keisuke tells them he wanted to request the Sunshine Girl's assistance because her daughter has asthma and her grandma doesn't let her leave unless it's sunny. In the next scene, we see the pimp. He is running away from a cop, but the cop is not trying to catch him. Instead, he wants to ask him about Hodaka, who is seen in the CCTV footage with the pimp where he shot a bullet as well. The cop tells him that Hodaka is a runaway, and if he has any information about him, he should tell him, but the pimp doesn't know anything. Meanwhile, as Hina and Hodaka go home, Hina is suddenly pulled up into the sky. As she comes back down, her body has transparent marks all over. There is nothing else to say. At Hina's place, police officers visit. They ask her about Hodaka because she was also seen in the CCTV footage with Hodaka, but she acts oblivious to his questions. The cop also tells her that the child services will be coming for her and her brother because she is also a minor. After this, Keisuke picks Hodaka up and tells him that he must go back home because the police visited him and suspect him of hiding Hodaka, which may jeopardize his daughter's custody. He gives Hodaka money and leaves. With nowhere to go, he stays with Hina. That's when they decide to run away because they will be separated and there is no other way they can stay together. The weather worsens and it begins to snow in mid-August, a weird phenomenon. The streets are flooded. The trains aren't running due to the flooding. They are forced to spend the night in Tokyo and leave in the morning, but they can't find a place because the police are looking for them. After looking all night, they eventually find a good place to stay. They have a little fun. Hodaka is lost in the moment with Hina and wishes the moment would never end. Hodaka gives Hina a present which he had kept for her birthday. It is a ring. He puts it on her finger. At that moment, Hina asks Hodaka if he wants the rain to end, to which he says yes. Then she explains that this would be possible, but she would disappear after that. She further explains how she got her powers when she wished to walk one more time in the sun with her dying mother last year. She explains how the sky takes a piece of her each time she would wish upon it, and then she proceeds to show him how her body is almost transparent. He embraces Hina, and then they fall asleep. Hodaka and Nagisa woke up to find that Hina had disappeared, only the ring was left, and the sun had appeared. The police bust opens into the hotel. Hodaka and Nagisa get taken into custody, but this doesn't stop Hodaka, as he can't let Hina be sacrificed. He manages to escape with the help of Natsumi, who finds him running. He rushes to the place where she got her powers, in an attempt to get her back. He finally reaches the building with the shrine. There he finds Keisuke, who tells him to stop and grabs onto him, telling him that Hina is gone and that he should let her go. Hodaka pulls away from him and takes the gun he had left in the building. He points it at Keisuke to let him go. The police arrive. The moment gets tensed. The cops point their guns at Hodaka. Keisuke tells them to stop because Hodaka is just a kid. That's when a cop jumps on Hodaka and starts cuffing him with handcuffs. But at that moment, Keisuke has a change of heart. He jumps onto the police officer. Hodaka escapes from the officer's grip, and in an attempt to get to Hina, he runs through the shrine gate, where she first got her powers. As he jumps through the shrine gate, he gets thrown into the sky, where it is filled with water creatures, and the clouds are thundering. He sees Hina, and yells her name, grabbing onto her, and finally reuniting with her. He brings her back. As soon as they come back, it begins to pour once more. The sun didn't last long, neither Hadoka's time with Hina. He is sent back to his town, while Hina is taken into custody. Fast forward, it's been 3 years now, and still, the rain continues in Tokyo. After these 3 years, Tokyo is almost completely drowned. Hodaka has graduated, and in the next scene, he is getting confessed to by some girl, but his mind is still in Tokyo. He can't wait to go there. Next, it is shown he is now heading to Tokyo. He opened the website that he and Hina had made. It has been inactive for these 3 years now. He sees that a request has been made on the website. He decides to visit that request maker. He talks to her about Tokyo and how it never stops raining anymore. After the visit, he digs around for Hina's location and finally finds her. As he is going to her place, on the way, he sees her. She is standing with her hands clamped together as she prays, and that's when they both see each other and run into a tight embrace. That's where the movie ends. What do you think about the relationship between Hodaka and Hina? Was it selfish of Hodaka to sacrifice the city, which is now almost completely drowning in water, for his love? I think sometimes we should be selfish for our loved ones. Let us know what you feel about this movie in the comments below.